to talk to you about coding in Julia. Now, I know that seems like a lot because I've coded R, Python, SQL. Why Julia? And the reason is we have to learn to get less focused on the tools and more focused on the task at hand. And the reason Julia is specific for this project I'm working on is it combines the speed of Fortran and C, which if you're new to coding, that means nothing. But for those of us who learned coding in COBOL, it goes back away. The statistical power of R and that kind of package extension of Python. And it's all rolled up into Julia, which is faster and robust in mathematics. So stay with me because we're going to learn first how to load it onto our computers because it's not as intuitive as you might think it would be. At least in my case, I'll be showing you how to load it into Mac OS and how to use a very specific notebook for Julia called Pluto versus the Jupyter notebook you may have become more accustomed. And one of the reasons why this is also important is there's something new, I guess it's new to me, called vibe coding. And that's what they're calling when you task an LLM model through narrative to write your code. And I'm going to suggest to you, this doesn't mean you shouldn't learn to code. To me, it lets you have more freedom with how you code. Maybe you don't need to know hello world in 5 different languages. Maybe all you need to do is know how it works under the hood at minimal, because anyone who just launches the code that's generated for them by a language learning model is going to have problems down the road. So first things first, we're going to download the programming language, Julia, to our computer. And I'm using, you can run this in the terminal. What I did that was most efficient was I downloaded the DMG for the system that I was using. So if you download the DMG, that's step 1. We've already opened our terminal window. Now to get Julia there, what we do is we click here and we do show package contents. And you're looking for that executable file. It's located right here. What you'll do is you'll just drag this over to your terminal. Now we've opened our terminal window and you just grab your Julia, pull it into the terminal, and there we go. So now that we're loaded in there, let me move my head. Now that we have it loaded, it was that easy. Exactly what you saw, it's exactly what you do. And now that it's in there and loaded, the first step before we start working in Julia is you're going to get the notebook to show up in your screen. So the way you do this is spell it correctly. And now we want to run Pluto. Now to finally see what that notebook's going to look like, here is what I copied from the terminal. And now they suggest Chrome. So I'm just going to go, Chrome's not my favorite, but that's what we're going to go with. And what's really cool about this, you can open a notebook that already exists, but I wouldn't imagine you have a notebook that already exists. So what you do is you create a new one. And what's cool is these are all the ones I've created. You know, you create notebooks and you forget to name them and you have all like unlabeled things. Pluto will label it for you and it uses really cool names. So if we're going to create a new notebook, all you do is click on a little button and there you go. This is your coding cell and this is where we're going to leave it. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about how to write the code as we're writing the code. If you're like me, if you have a couple other languages under your belt, you're going to want to know the context of the coding and you're going to want to understand how the compiler works. So just a little minor bit so you understand how to pull the code in and have effective and clean code to run.